Yo, 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 happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, everyone. My name is Justin Moore, founder of Creator Wizard, where I teach you how to find and negotiate your dream brand partnerships. Excited to be back for another live stream. I have not done a live stream, it feels like, in a really long time, mainly because I have been traveling, speaking at what feels like a zillion different events and conferences and so on over the last month or so. So I'm very excited to be back here. A lot has happened in the last month or two. And I'm excited to chat with y'all today. I am live across YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, you name it. I'm there. And I am going to be talking today about what I call 10K brand outreach strategies, because Q3 is right around the corner, or quarter three starts in July. So excited to chat through that a bit more. Let me know where you're tuning in from in the comments. We got Bianca saying he back. Bianca from my team in the chat. Good to see you here, Bianca. Let me know where you're tuning in from. My Instagram is not working for some reason, and I don't know why that is. That is very strange, and I don't think I'm able to add. Maybe I am. Let me try and do this, because I would like to bring some Instagram peeps into this. Let's see if this works. 10K brand deal strategies. Let's see if this works. Public. Next. Let's grab this new stream key. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I think I might have tried this one time before, where I tried to add the stream key while I was live streaming, and I don't think it worked. But I'm going to give it a shot, because that would be nice. I guess it's not working, but that's okay. Sarah Dawn says, oh, hello. YouTube's bell is doing its job today. Love to see it. Parker's on the go says, hello, Justin, locked into the audiobook. Appreciate the creator interviews here from NC. Love to hear that. So why don't we just kick it off by talking a little bit about some pretty big news, I would say, which is that the audiobook of Sponsor Magnet is now live. This is what Parker's on the go was mentioning. If you probably heard this if you were on my newsletter, but if you're not, this is probably the most requested thing that people have asked about the book since it came out back in January was, Justin, I don't really read books anymore. I only listen. So when is the audiobook coming? And I kept saying, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Finally, it's here. So very, very excited. I think almost close to 200 people have picked up the audiobook already in the last couple days, which is wild. And what Parker's on the go is referencing about the creator interviews is I did something pretty special, I think, with the interviews because of the fact that the book came out in January, and thousands of people have read it now, the paperback version. Basically, a huge amount of people read the book, took action, and got a bunch of results. And so I was like, as I was producing the audiobook, I was thinking, man, what could I do that would be really special to make the audiobook kind of a unique experience? And I thought, why don't I interview some of these people who have got these amazing outcomes in the audiobook? And so that's exactly what I did. I interviewed 8 different creators in different niches, different platforms, different verticals to share their experience. And it turned out chef's kiss. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I think that if you have not picked up the audiobook today, it's a great supplement to the physical book. A lot of people have told me that, they're listening to the audiobook and reading it, kind of going back through it and so on. So it's a very different experience than actually reading the book. So super, super excited. Maybe Bianca can drop the audiobook link in the chat here from my team. That would be awesome. Sarah says it's stupid hot here in Toronto, which is 93 degrees Fahrenheit. It's in Canada. And then it's 109 degrees Fahrenheit with the humidity. Oh my goodness. That is absolutely insane. I hope you're staying cool there. Man, that is insane. So that is the audiobook announcement. I do have a few other things I wanted to talk about, which is my experience speaking at 3 different conferences over the last 2 weeks. So Craft and Commerce in Boise, Idaho, the ROI Summit in Huntington Beach, California, and then VidCon in Anaheim, California, all within the last like 10 days or so. But before I get to that, I did want to like focus a bit on today's topic, which is 10K brand outreach strategies. So the reason I wanted to focus on this today, as you know, this is like a running theme of things that I do on the live stream every few months, which is I talk, okay, like Q3, quarter three budgets are about to reset in literally 7 days, 6 days, which means that brands typically allocate their marketing spend on a quarterly basis. So they unlock new dollars that they can spend when the quarter resets. So we're talking, so Q1 is January, February, March, Q2 is April, May, June, and Q3 is July, August, September, right? Did I do that right? Yeah, July, August, September. And so this is like prime time when they're just starting to think about, okay, we've got this fresh budget here. What are we going to do with it? How are we going to allocate this? Great. Now it's time, especially if you've been nurturing this brand for a while, now is the time to pop back in their inbox and say, hey, remember me? Not, hey, do you have a bunch of, pardon me. The follow-up is not, hey, do you have money for me now? It's, hey, you're pivoting to value. So you're saying, hey, like here's some other ideas I've had. I may have pitched you something 2 months ago, but here I am back at the top of your inbox pitching another idea. The most annoying thing that you could possibly do is be like, hey, do you have anything for me now? Hey, how about now? Hey, about now? They're just going to stop responding to your emails. They're going to delete it. They're going to ghost you. That's not the right approach. But in the back of your head, you know that these budgets are resetting. So now would be the time to start reaching out to some of these brands and reminding them that you exist. Parker's on the Go says, we had a small win. Can't wait for more. Affiliate link to 1K payout for an 8-minute video. Let's go. Give it up for Parker's on the Go in the chat. That is a huge win. And you know, we celebrate all wins here, big or small, and that is a huge win, right? A lot of people have said like, you know, I previously just deleted all of these affiliate emails, but look what you did. You turned that into a 1K, like a flat compensated partnership. That is a huge win. So absolutely love to see it. Sarah says, I'm in front of my many fans and existing on iced coffee right now, but it's supposed to break tonight. So here's to hoping. Yeah, absolutely love to see it here. Love it. All right. So, okay. So, I want to, chat a bit more about, how do we think through some of these Q3 strategies? Like, number one, what do we actually say? How do we actually do some research to seem like, to figure out what it seems like the brand cares about for the summer? The summer can be a bit of an interesting time period, right? Because, there are a fair amount of people who go on, vacations with their family during the summer. There is kind of this seasonal component to it's usually hot weather in most parts of the world. And so if there is a brand or a product or a service that has some sort of seasonal, like component to it, that might be an angle that you could potentially reach out and pitch. I'll pull in some anecdotes from these conferences that I spoke at. It really is quite varied. To let me say this. Brands are desperate to think about any way in which they can drum up interest for their products if they don't have a seasonal promotion. So even if or a seasonal component to their brand, even if they don't, they may run some sort of summer campaign like, oh yeah, like it's the summertime and it's time to finally get organized with your CRM and your business or whatever, right? So even though their product has nothing to do with the summer or whatever, it may take you reaching out and being like, hey, have you ever run a seasonal campaign for your product? For them to be like, no, we actually haven't. That's pretty interesting. Tell us more. Tell me more. And so I know I talk a lot about like trying to just pattern match, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like if you're able to, say like, hey, like be the one to suggest that, hey, maybe you could try this new thing and I can be your guinea pig. This might be an interesting thing for your brand to try out during the summer, during the fall, etc. they might get on a call with you and be like, okay, yeah, this is pretty interesting. What do you have in mind? We've got Josiah tuning in on Instagram. Instagram is finally working. Love to see it here. We've got Coach Adonis, Mark the Creator. Good to see y'all here. Sarah Dawn says, oh, and I just finished putting in a request with my local library for Sponsor Magnet. I thought they had it, but no luck. So I've requested it. Sarah, if your local library actually does order a copy and you are able to check it out, can you send me a picture of that? Because that is really cool. You're the first person who's told me that they've tried to request it from their local library. So that would be cool if you could show me that. And Bianca in the chat just dropped the Amazon audiobook link. So thank you very much, Bianca. You guys can pick up the and by the way, even if you have a membership to Audible, like you can use a credit and like towards the audiobook, and I still get credit for that. So yeah, that would be pretty cool here. We've got one Keelan Stewart in the chat here. Mark the Creator says, love the book, currently in the pitching phase. Love to see it. Really super appreciate you picking up a copy of the book. Means a lot to me. And if I could so humbly request, because you're getting value from it, it would mean the world to me if you would leave a review on Amazon. Reviews matter a lot in the early days after a book launches. So that would mean a lot to me if you would do that. So thank you. Super appreciate it. Okay, so let's shift gears back to this kind of 10K brand deal outreach strategies subject of today. So when I say 10K like brand outreach strategies, what does that even mean? What does that look like? So I think that there's a lot of people ask me, like, what does a 5-figure brand deal, a sponsorship even look like, right? Because I've only ever gotten, a couple $100 or even max, like maybe 1,000, maybe like low 4 figures. What would I even have to offer to make $10,000 plus on a deal? And a lot of people think that it's okay. Well, I guess I just have to 10x the amount of like deliverables, right? That's the only way that a brand would ever pay me that much, right? So if I'm doing one post for them for the 1,000, I guess I got to do 10 posts to make $10,000. And that could not be further from the truth. One of the primary like takeaways from my book and my course and my coaching program and things like that is helping people extricate their value from the actual tactics of what they're delivering. I was actually on a coaching call just earlier today with someone in my mastermind, and we were working on just hold your socks here, a multi-6-figure sponsorship, and it has absolutely nothing to do with really the deliverables that this person is putting together, and more about what they represent to this brand and what they represent to the market. And so you may think, okay, yeah, well, that's easy to say for someone who has a gigantic audience, but in actuality, this person does not have that gigantic of an audience, but they're in a very, very particular niche. And so I always like to start here when it comes to like, what does a 10K brand deal or look like? And it's always like analyzing your what I call your STP, your surprising transformative promise. If you're just like any other creator, any other travel creator, any other lifestyle or food creator or tech creator or B2B creator, whatever, you're just kind of focusing on really, really general topics, then yeah, if a brand can just commoditize you and, swap you out with some other creator without consequence, that's a big problem. And so the first step is like sitting here and thinking like more about my creator identity. What is unique about me? What is the unique value that I'm providing to my audience? And yes, a lot of people think, okay, what should my niche be? They're worried that if they pick a niche, if they pick a lane, then it's going to limit their opportunities. It's going to limit their potential reach or audience size or followership because they're talking about something super niche. I can't tell you how many times this happened. 2, 3. I think I had 4 separate conversations at these conferences, or at VidCon in particular. I think I had 4 separate conversations of people saying, I can't think of a single other person who does what you do. You are the only person that I know of that is a sponsorship coach that helps people in this capacity where you're not a manager, you're not an agent, you don't take a cut from people's deals, you educate people, you coach them, and they keep everything. I can't think of a single other person who's doing what you do. So taking that, so there's so many like benefits from carving out this like position in the market for yourself. And so I really want to just take a pause here and acknowledge this. Like, what if you had to think in your current situation, your current content that you create, or the current business that you've stood up? How could you be a one of one? What would it mean for you to be a one of one? Is there something that you could go even deeper? Is there a way in which you could talk about it that's even deeper? I'm even thinking about going even deeper than sponsorship coaching, if you can believe this. One of the ways in which I've started to think about standing out on short form content in particular is, some of you OGs may know this about me, but like I was like 99% sure that I was going to be a professional musician for the first 18 years of my life. Like a concert pianist. That's really what I thought. Or in some sort of like a traveling musician in a band, because I was in like a metal band in high school. I play a bunch of different instruments. And so I was like very sure that was going to be my life, and it didn't turn out that way. Obviously, I went to engineering school of all things. But I have literally been thinking about how can I marry my love of music to this weird thing that I do called sponsorship coaching. And I have literally decided that I'm probably going to start creating like music, like while administering sponsorship advice. So how much more bizarre and crazy and unique can you get? Sponsorship advice in the form of music, in the form of a song. Like I'm almost like Adam Sandler, right? And a comedic element too, right? Because I love being silly and goofy, and that's like my whole thing. And so like, is there anyone that can replace me in that regard? Is there if a brand ever wanted to partner with me, is there anyone else that is going to do the things that I do? Absolutely not. Right. And so what I'm not saying is pick a niche that is so unbelievably specific that there's only one person on the planet who would find value from that. That's not what I'm saying. What is the angle? What is the positioning of your content where you can deliver it maybe in such a way that it's super unique? Or maybe you are picking an angle of this where, maybe you are shrinking the size of the total addressable market, the TAM of like who you could serve, but it's still large enough where you can like have a very good life, have a very good business serving those people. I want to take a pause here. Drop it in the chat. Is this unlocking anything for anyone? Because for me, this was the unlock for me about a couple of years ago when I was not talking just about sponsorship coaching. Believe it or not, this was not the thing that I focused on early on. I was focused on the business of being a creator. That was like my tagline in my YouTube, like banner. And it really took some thoughtfulness. It took actually a follower DMing me and saying, hey, you should just focus on sponsorships. That's clearly your wheelhouse. Stop talking about all those other things like digital products and merchandise and all that. And I was like, that's a good idea. And so I made like a hard pivot. And so on the surface, you could think, okay, yeah, Justin, you're limiting yourself of like the types of people that you could talk. And sure enough, go on my YouTube channel. Right? Like I am getting hundreds of views on average. I'm not talking about the 10 ways to make money on the internet or whatever, which would get more views. But is that really the target customers I want for my courses, my coaching program, etc.? Not really. This is the thing I like talking about. And so for y'all, like what is that? What is your thing that is your superpower? That only you can do. Benji's dad. Oh, what's up, Chris? Good to see you here. Says blue ocean strategy. Exactly. Different is better than better. Right? I love that. Different is better than better. Love it. Parker's on the go says this is definitely making us think. Yes. Love to hear it. Definitely making us think. That was the goal here. Mark says, yes, I'm in travel, but what I really do is explain the why behind the what. Say more about this, Mark. That's an interesting one here. We got Jody tuning in on Instagram. We've got Tyler Harmount tuning in as well. Good to see you here. We've got Cheryl R. Flow. Good to see you here as well, Cheryl. Yeah. So let me know in the chat. Is this unlocking anything for anyone? Juliana on LinkedIn says, ordered your book last night in paperback because I just know this will be having a permanent spot on my desk. Let's go. Thank you, Juliana. I super appreciate it. I really hope you find value from the book. Just out of curiosity, how did you find out about the book? I'm very curious. I always like doing a little bit of customer audience research whenever I hear someone purchase the book, because I want to do more of that thing. How did you hear about me? Let me do more of that. So I really appreciate you picking up the book. Let's see. Mark has a question here in the chat. Latest objections I got. We would love to work with you, but your views fluctuate. Okay, how many of you in the chat have ever gotten this objection from a brand where you've reached out, or maybe they've reached out to you and you quote a certain amount, for your rate or for the project, and the brand says something like this, right? We would love to work with you, but your views fluctuate. So one of the biggest things that if you have my book Sponsor Magnet, one of the through lines that you probably have identified is that I always try to empathize with where the brand is coming from to understand, like, why are they feeling this way? Why are they reacting this way? If I were them, how would I feel? Because I think it really can, provide useful insight for us to not beat ourselves up, get angry at the brand, turn from a lover into a hater of the brand, because that can be the tendency. Like, how dare this brand treat me this way? Like, they're making millions, hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and they can't even pay me lousy $500,000 or whatever, right? Like, I know it because I've seen these reactions from people. And so the reason I wanted to start here in terms of empathy, Mark, is that imagine that you're the brand. Imagine you ran a brand and you were selling a product, right? And they were looking at this from a straight up return on investment perspective. They say, okay, Mark is charging us $2,000. I don't know how much you quoted them. Mark is charging us $2,000. Is this going to generate at least $2,000 in return for us, whether that's awareness, conversion, whatever the goal is? Or we actually don't want to just break even. We want to turn a profit, because that's the whole point that we're doing influencer marketing, is to drive those types of outcomes, right? And so if they're looking at views as a proxy of that return, let's say it was an awareness campaign, which is what the KPI, views would be the key performance indicator for an awareness campaign. And they're looking at a bunch of random view counts, right? Oh, this one got 500, this one got 1,000, this one got 2,000. The reason that they're looking at that is because they want to feel with relative certainty that if they hired you to talk about them in a video, that video containing the promotion will get, on average, the same types of views as past videos. And this could be a frustrating thing, right? Because sometimes I think as creators, we feel as though we don't have a ton of control over how our videos perform. And so that's why we're nervous to give any sort of view guarantees, or we just feel a bit sheepish when brands confront us about this scenario, because it's like, this is kind of like out of my control. And so this is why immediately, whenever I would get this objection or hesitation, I would pivot towards telling them, well, okay, this is exactly why it makes way more sense for us to engage in several different activations to distribute the risk. They also should understand that organic content is just like paid content. So if they're running, let's say, paid Facebook ads or paid YouTube ads or whatever, they know that, like, not every piece of creative, not every asset that they test in the Facebook Meta black box, the YouTube black box, not every piece of creative is going to do well. Like, they may put in 15 different pieces of creative and like one becomes the clear winner. And so they then reallocate all the spend behind that one asset. And so the same parallel, you can have this same conversation with brands and say, like, look, it's the same with organic content. Some content does well, some content performs average, some performs, lower than average. But that's why we should test different hooks. We should test different messaging angles and positioning to see which one resonates with my audience the best. And then we can divert more attention to that strategy. So this is why it actually, because the goal, it sounds like, is awareness, because you care about views. This is why I actually think it would make more sense for us to do 5 pieces of content to test which ones perform the best. And then we can double down on those assets. Is this making sense, Mark? Because again, you have to be a bit more thoughtful here, because this is why they're going to hire you, because most creators will be like, no, the price is the price, take it or leave it. Or they just won't respond if the brand doesn't pay them the rate that they quoted. But you're the one, like, going deeper here, pulling that thread and being like, oh, well, I understand that this is maybe how you have done things in the past, but this is how I approach things from a bit bit more of an analytical perspective. Let me drop it in the chat. Is this helpful? Mark says, so offer, for example, trial reels and multiple hooks. Boom. Love to see it, Mark. Boom. You just came up with a beautiful example of something that you could pitch them. So what Mark is talking about is on Instagram, they now have a feature called trial reels where you can upload something not to your full audience, but just to a small portion of that audience to see how it performs. Why can't you sell something like that through to the brand? In fact, I was just helping a creator in our coaching program put together some pricing and packages for a UGC campaign, so a user generated content campaign. And they said, how much for one piece of UGC? And I was like, no. That's not what we're going to pitch. We're going to say, hey, the way in which I do things is I'm going to deliver you 5 different versions of this. There's going to be different hooks at the front. There's going to be different calls to action. So in this one, it's going to say, click below to sign up for your free trial. Or this one's going to say, click, below to get the BOGO, the buy one, get one off promo if they have like multiple promos. And we're going to the main bulk of the video, let's say the middle 40 seconds is going to be the same, but we're appending on to the beginning and the end, different hooks and different calls to action. So 5 videos, boom, here you go. What do you think of that? And the brand was like, oh, wow, this is such a smart way to do this. So again, you got to lean into your own expertise, Mark, here and realize that we could be a bit more thoughtful in terms of how we're approaching this strategy so that the brand understands why they have to pay us this heightened amount, because no other creator is offering to do stuff like that, right? And going back to this whole kind of like 10K brand deal outreach strategies, which is the subject of today's live stream, this is what I'm talking about. It's this type of thoughtfulness of why the brand will start to understand why they should pay you this higher amount versus doing 10 times the amount of work, right? Is this making sense? Come on, give me, if you're lurking right now and you haven't left a comment, give me something. Give me the praise hands emoji. Give me the mind blown guy. Give me the money with the wings on it. Give me something here. Give me something. Juliana says, found out about your book through Leah Haberman. Leah Haberman's recommendation on LinkedIn. Yes, Leah did give a glowing recommendation for the book, I think in like a roundup post of her favorite books that she's checking out right now. I'm gonna have to screenshot this. Actually, I'm gonna screenshot. I'm gonna take a screenshot and send it to Leah. All right, here we go. There we go. I got it. I'm gonna send that to her. So appreciate you letting me know, Juliana. I hope you love it. All right. So Mark says, so we talked about $3K for a video, how to price it, for example, 3 trial reels and lean into one with the best skip rate. Exactly. There we go. That's exactly what you can do. I love this idea. And you may be, number one, the very first creator who's ever considered doing something like this. And you now have carved out a new place in their mind for you. Okay. Mark is not just another creator. Mark is, are you, by the way, is your name Mark or Mar? Because I just realized like there's not 2 C's. So I just want to make sure. I think it's Mark. Mark says, Gabriel Nussbaum gave me your book. Oh my God. Gabriel's a legend. Okay. I got to screenshot this one now. Love to see it. Love it. Super, super cool. Thanks for the heads up, because I'm going to have to thank Mark, or thank Gabriel. So Bianca says screenshot face is such a treat. Yeah, I just have to do the screenshot face because I want to make sure it looks good when I actually post it live. Okay, good. Your name is Mark. Glad to hear you. We also got the Salon Guy tuning in on Instagram. Good to see you here, Salon Guy. Salon Guy, did I meet you at VidCon? I can't see your profile photo. I think it might be you. I'm not sure. It might be. But if it is, good to see you here. So yeah, I think that's exactly what you do, Mark, is float this idea. And again, you've carved out this place in their mind for you as someone who's different, right? You're not just another creator. You're not just someone asking for $3,000 for a reel. You're like being thoughtful. What I talk about is like, you're not just a creator. You are a consultant now to these brands. And so when they think about maybe doing something a bit more esoteric in future campaigns, hey, they may come to you. Hey, Mark might have a good idea about how we could try this. He had that good idea about using trial reels. Like, let's go talk to him. Right. And now it's like, okay, great. You're not a commodity anymore. And this is the whole point of these kind of 10K brand deal outreach strategies is realizing how to be different. Is this helpful? Drop it in the chat if this is helpful. We've got Brittany Rattell tuning in on Instagram. Absolutely love to see you here, Brittany. For those of you who are in need of a creator-focused lawyer, definitely hit up Brittany. She is great. Mark says, literally, we'll do this today. All right, well, Mark, if you do this, send me a DM on Instagram because I want to know what the result of this is, because I love that you're going to actually take some action right away on this. By the way, for those of you who are just tuning in right now, welcome. It's been a few weeks since I've done a live stream. I've been traveling at 3 different conferences: Craft and Commerce in Boise, Idaho, ROI Summit, which is Rachel Rogers' event in Huntington Beach, California, and VidCon in Anaheim, California. And a couple crazy things that happened at these events. So a couple things. Number one, at Craft and Commerce, which is Kit's annual conference, which is the email service provider that I use, I convinced them to purchase 300 of my books and put them on the chair of every single attendee. So I don't know if any of you follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna actually pull it up because I think it's funny. Because a bunch of people will be like, how did you get them to do that? So let me share my screen here because I'm gonna show you what I actually did. Okay, here we go. So check this out. So this is a shot of me, and this is a video of me getting my book on every single chair at this conference. And so I'm like super shameless, right? I have absolutely no shame, because I've said before, if I don't shamelessly shill for myself for this book, no one's going to, right? And especially because I self-published the book, like I have this really, really ambitious goal to get the book in the hands of 100,000 people in the next 5 years. I've almost hit 5,000, which is amazing. But again, I am literally not gonna be able to do this if I don't do crazy things like this. And so you have to be your own advocate. I think some people feel a bit sheepish to do stuff like this, because you kind of have to border the line of like obnoxious sometimes to do this type of thing. But I just believe so strongly in the book, and I've seen the results of people reading this, $15, $20 book and getting a 5-figure brand deal. I literally like why would I not shout it from the rooftops when it can have that level of impact for people, right? And so that was one thing I did at Craft and Commerce. And then I spoke at ROI, same thing. Got the book in 500 people's bags at ROI, and I should just keep my like screen shared because I want to show you that one now. Okay, so let me share my screen here. I'm just having fun because I'm very proud of these shenanigans. So I spoke at ROI in Huntington Beach, and it was an unbelievable event. Like, holy cow. So there's me, and then there we go. There's my book. It was the only book in this swag bag of 500 attendees. So yeah, that was pretty dope. And then the other thing that I did was I spoke at VidCon, and I spoke, I think, probably in front of maybe 200 creators. And immediately after my talk, my book went to #1 on Amazon. Because I talked about it. I was not afraid. I didn't do like a hard pitch or anything. I basically just said like, what I just covered in this session, just scratched the surface, a small surface of like what I talk about in basically like just chapter 1 and 2 of my book. And so that was so dope. And so, I had the chance, the privilege to literally talk with, I don't know, probably close to 100 creators over the last like 10, 14 days. And wow, just like such a varied like level of like anecdotes, stories, objections. This is one of the big reasons I like going to these types of in-person events, because if I'm just sitting here in my office and just pontificating about what I think you should do to get brand deals, I'm not actually learning what's going on the ground. Obviously, we have about 70 creators in our coaching program, so we get a lot of like on the ground data, but like these are people who have already invested in their business on an ongoing basis to help have us support them. But it's also very, very important for me to be out there talking with people who, like, maybe they don't even think sponsorships is a worthwhile thing to pursue. That's like a big objection that I get, is like, I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on, my own course or my coaching or my book or whatever. I don't want to, or digital products. I don't want to do sponsorships. And those are the people I love speaking with the most, because I just feel so fulfilled when I can have a 3-minute, 5-minute conversation with them and they say, you know what, maybe I should consider sponsorships. I feel so excited when that happens. Brittany says, you're the man for getting people to make money. I recommend your book all the time. I super, super appreciate that, Brittany. It's not shilling when it's valuable. It's a PSA. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I appreciate you, Brittany. Speaking of the whole, like, trying to get, people to come around and see my viewpoint, I had the ability, the privilege, honestly, of doing an interview with a very famous author about a month ago at a retreat that I went to. His name is Nir Eyal, and I wanna show you just the first like 30 seconds of this video. I haven't released it yet, but I low-key want to. Can I show it to you? This is weird, but like, I'm just so excited for this video to come out that I want to show you the first like section of it. Can I do that for you guys? All right. This is why I really want to crack YouTube, because this is probably the thing I get the most excited about, is like these types of long form interviews, these types of videos. All right, here we go. Let me share my screen here. Oh my God, this is so good. I hope you're going to be able to hear the audio, but we're going to see. We're going to see if this works. Okay, here we go. Also share audio. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this works. Ready? Oh, share the tab. Also share tab audio. Okay, hopefully this works. Okay, ready? Let's see if this works.
This is like the complete mind shift.
I think that you could add $1 million a year to your business doing something like this.
Amazing. Like, I got goosebumps. I just never thought of it this way before.
Nir Eyal, it's so wonderful to have you, man.
Thanks, bud. This is great. It's great to be here.
We're kind of BFFs now.
Let's be honest.
I mean, that's what happens when you like spend. All right,
are you guys able to hear this?
At this retreat here.
Anyways,
in Sonoma
was that intro not fire? So yeah, let me know in the chat if you were able to hear that, because if you weren't, I'm gonna be really sad. But that interview, it was like professionally shot and everything. Yeah, I'm so excited for this to come out, because Nir is someone who's not doing sponsorships at all. His main business is writing books, 2 best-selling books, and speaking. And so he's built a very, very large business doing that. And so I basically convinced him that he should be doing sponsorships. And so, yeah, it's a absolutely fire episode. I cannot wait for it to come out. Right now, I'm trying to work on not screwing up the packaging of the video, like the thumbnail and the title and all that, because I really want people to see this video, and I suck at that. I suck at packaging. Mark says, yes, love it. We can hear it. Brittany says, yes, we can hear it. Yes, love it. Tara, good to see you here. Benji says, Diary of a CEO. Yes, I am Steven. I am embodying Steven. The video looked pretty sick, right? Like the quality of it. Oh man, it's so good. I'm so excited for it. Yeah, and also I am relaunching my podcast with my very lovely co-host Joe Casabona, who is my lead coach in my sponsorship coaching program, Wizards Guild. And so we recorded 2 episodes in Boise when we were there for Craft and Commerce, and so I cannot wait for those videos to come live too. I gotta show you. I gotta show you an excerpt of this too, because it's so good. It's so good. I'm gonna show one more. I promise this is it. Okay, hold on. Guys, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. Okay, I swear you're gonna love this. Are you guys as excited as me? Because I'm like giddy showing you this stuff, because there's just so many cool little things that we're working on. Okay, here we go. Ready? Probably the #1 message that I get from creators when I teach them the rope pitching method is, what do I say to a brand that doesn't feel like it's all about me? So today on the podcast, we have created a game called the Sponsor fishbowl spinner. And I'm very excited to introduce my lovely co-host, Joe Casabona. Joe, let's go.
Hello.
Welcome
so
in.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
dude, this is going to be great. So if you don't know Joe, Joe is my lead coach inside our Wizards Guild sponsorship coaching program.
I want to show you like what this
explain
game
what
is.
It's a little vibe coded.
So Frostkit, I noticed that you just came out with your new strawberry flavor core. I think that's perfect for this.
So the premise behind these episodes is we created this software where it's a random brand generator, and you have 60 seconds to pitch the brand. So we did this for both pitching and for negotiation role play. And oh my God, the episodes turned out so fire. Let me know in the chat. Are you excited for these episodes? Let me know if you're excited for these episodes, because we're relaunching the podcast. And I'm very excited for these, because yeah, it's gonna be absolute fire. These podcasts are gonna come out, I think, like in July, like in July is the target. Seth, we got Seth. Seth is tuning in. Seth, I feel honored that you've graced me with your presence. We got Seth Silvers in the chat on Instagram. You and Joe will be legendary together. Thank you very much, Seth. Seth is my new buddy. We met at VidCon and got to have dinner. We got to break bread. Seth has a very, very impressive business. He has a podcast agency and works with some very, very large creators and media companies. And so it's just like, this is one of the cool parts about VidCon is like, I think, if you're just like sitting alone in your room and creating content, it's fine. But like so many like opportunities, so many interesting new creative outlets and angles can present themselves to you when you just like meet other interesting people. Literally, the conversation that me and Seth, that you and I, Seth, had at VidCon changed the trajectory of like how I was thinking about my podcast, about what I wanted to do. So like that was like, it's like an important thing. So appreciate you, Seth. Michael Mora in LinkedIn says, I'm lurking. LOL. I also bought your book and I learned about it from Kevin Perry's recommendation. Bro, Michael, I super, super appreciate that, man. And Kevin is a legend. He is so great. Liz says, yes, Joe gets to shine. Yes, exactly. Dips Design, thanks. You are back. You're back, waiting for you. Yes, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've been doing the live streams, but I am back. By the way, I did completely lose my voice. That was another reason why I haven't done any live streams is, man, just like not. So it's like you do the talk and then 30 minutes like talking to people afterwards. And then you go and you talk to people in the hallway, and then you do like I did another session, and then you go to dinner and there's like loud music and you're talking over the music. And so it's just like a formula to like, to like lose your voice. So I did get some advice from Pat Flynn at Craft and Commerce that he was like, dude, best thing I ever did was take singing lessons, because I learned how to like really talk from my diaphragm so I don't lose my voice anymore when I talk. And I was like, dude, that's a great idea. So I need to go take some singing lessons. Thanks to Pat Flynn for that tip. Y'all, so as a reminder, if you're just tuning in to these live streams, I do these for y'all. So if you have any questions around brand deals, negotiations, partnership strategy, drop it in the chat. Maybe you're thinking, Justin, I don't want to do partnerships. I'm making a bunch of money on my own course or my coaching program or whatever. Why would I tell my audience about brands? Is that you? Drop it in the chat and I can help overcome some of those objections. Or maybe you were like Mark and you're like, man, I've got a brand on the hook, but they just don't want to pay how much I'm quoting. How can I get this across the finish line? So any question is fair game. While we're waiting for some additional questions, I did want to make a very, very exciting announcement, which is that, guys, I'm doing another 7-day challenge. The 10K brand deal challenge. Let's go. I'm so excited. I have done a couple of these challenges in the past. And actually, I think quite a few of you on the live stream may have taken some of my previous challenges. But now that the book is done, now that my Sponsor Games in-person event is over, I'm finally going to get back to running these live challenges because I just love it. It's so much. Like, again, my goal is impact. My goal is how can I reach the most amount of people with what I believe, which is that sponsorships can play a hugely profound role in your life and your business. But what I always struggle with is
getting through to people who were they don't even know how to get started, right? They know that they've built up this influence. They know that they want to turn that into income, but they just don't know how to do it. And so the 10K brand deal challenge is literally going to be a live challenge over 7 days, where we literally go through basically the first section of the book together as kind of a group. And it's going to be so much fun. It is a paid challenge, so it's $97 to participate, but that's because I'm literally going to be live streaming for 5 days straight. So there's 5 days of live programming. There's 2 days of self-directed kind of like homework. And there's things like a live pitch audit, like roast, where I'm going to be looking at people's actual pitches, roasting them, providing suggestions. We're going to be figuring out how do we actually, figure out who to contact for this pitch. And when I've run this challenge in the past, like people have literally pitched brands in the first couple days of the challenge, heard back from those brands, and it was like, oh, what do I do? Right? Like what do I do now? This type of thing. And so like, if you're just looking for a way to just like get started, absolutely would recommend joining. Bianca just dropped a link in the chat. It's creatorwizard.com/10K challenge. Would love to see you there. One thing I will mention also, since y'all are like my tribe here, who you show up to these live streams every week, I'm going to tell y'all something that I don't really usually tell everyone, which is that if you would like to be an affiliate for this challenge as well, I will give you literally 100% commission. Let me explain why I'm doing this. So, one of the incredible things that happens, as I mentioned, when people go through this challenge, is that there's this moment when they hear back from a brand during the challenge that they're like, okay, what do I do now? The brand wants to drop on a phone call, or the brand wants me to send over a proposal or pricing or whatever. What do I do? There's an obvious pathway for those people to join our coaching program, right? And so this is one thing that we're going to offer at the end of the challenge, right? And so the reason that I'm offering 100% commission on the challenge is that I want as many people to be in the challenge as possible, right? Because you don't have to join the coaching program, but just getting started through this 7 days, let me just get a kickstart. Let me get some accountability. Let me just show up every day for 7 days and actually do the thing, do the research, craft the brand outreach, hit send on this email. You can hear back from that brand and go off into the sunset. Great. But if you need support from us on an ongoing basis, great. That's an option too. And so again, like all of y'all who are here, I think kind of understand this of like why we're doing these challenges on an ongoing basis, of course, too, from a business standpoint. And so if you would like to be an affiliate, just go to creatorwizard.com/affiliates. That's with an S, affiliates. And you can sign up and get your custom referral link. And again, 100% commission if people join. So would love to have you. Brittany says, I was just going to say, my sister is an opera singer and she's given me some good tips. Yeah. Tara says, no way. We love brand partnerships. Yes. We got Inky Goodness tuning in Instagram. Mark Creator says, I started cold email using your framework to pitch. So far, no response. Any tips on that? Should I create a sequence, multiple follow-ups? So yeah, let's talk about this particular thing. By the way, Mark, you should join the challenge because this very thing is something that we're going to talk about, but I'll just wet your palate a little bit on this. Is that like, if you're expecting to hear back from a brand with just one email, I've got some unfortunate news for you, which is that you have to be following up with this brand multiple times, even if you're not hearing back from them. And it's not, hey, just want to bring this to the top of your inbox. No, you're actually sending them different types of value, pivoting these angles with each follow-up. So you're absolutely right. Even if you have not heard back on these first initial emails that you've sent, Mark, definitely you should be sending follow-ups, but also maybe there's some other interesting ways in which you can pitch the brand, including a video pitch. Oh, we're going to talk about this in the challenge. How do you actually put together a video pitch that you send to the brand instead of email? Frankly, I've actually been thinking about an article that I want to write around this topic, which is that in the age of ChatGPT or Claude or any of these large language models, most people can kind of sound good enough now when they're drafting an email, right? They can sound professional enough. And so where does that leave the everyday creator or the everyday person who is trying to cut through the noise and stand out with the brand? Well, you know what a really good way to do that would be? Video pitches, right? You actually do the rope pitch, the same methodology that I teach in my book, via video. I have had tremendous success doing that. doing the kind of like basically like a modified rote pitch over video and then sending that to the brand. And what I do is I'm gonna save this thing because you've already pitched the brand via email, Mark. So start there. Do the follow-ups. I know it's tough, right? Because it's like, it's like I'm shouting into the void. They're not responding, but I'm like, hey, like talk to me now. How about now? Right. And so instead of it being that feeling where it feels yucky or salesy, just remember, pivot to value. What's an article that you can send to them that provides, an interesting perspective of like how other brands in their category are doing influencer marketing or something like that. Just start there, and then video pitches can be a secondary thing. I stopped because I didn't want to overwhelm you. I tend to have that problem where I'll just like go really deep down somewhere and people will be like, oh God, I don't know if I could do this. Brittany says, yep, these social media managers' inboxes are going to be overrun even more than they are now. That's exactly right. So take Brittany's advice for it. All right. We got Liz in the chat here saying so valuable. So valuable. Okay. Bianca on my team's probably going to get mad at me for announcing this because we haven't told the community yet, but Liz, you are in our coaching program. So one thing that we were going to blast out to the community is that everyone in our current coaching program is going to get the ability to participate in the challenge for free as many times as they want, because I just think it's going to be a useful thing for people in our coaching program as well. And so would love to see you in there, Liz, if you're interested. All right. Let's see here. We got Mr. Fred's DIY Garage School. Hey, Justin, I'm halfway through your book and I love it. Fred, I super, super appreciate that, dude. And as I mentioned to another person on the Instagram chat, if you have found value from the book, it would mean so much to me if you would submit a review on Amazon. You can just go to sponsormagnet.com/review. It'll take you directly to the deep link where you can actually just fill out you have to be logged into log into Amazon, but you can submit your review there. And by the way, if any of you have read the book but haven't submitted a review yet, I'm going to give you since we're on the topic of video pitches. Anyone feel brave enough to submit a video review for the book? Whoa. I would love that. Who wants to submit a video review? And if you're in the Amazon Influencers program, you'll get a commission when you do that review. If people click on the review and then buy the book. Whoa, let's go. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, that would be super cool. Bianca says, excuse me, wait, show me the mug. Oh yeah, you probably haven't seen this. Look at this. Look at this sick Creator Wizard mug, this Yeti mug. Does that look pretty sick? My friend Dorothy, who I work with, got me these for a holiday present. I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. So that was very, very kind of Dorothy. But yeah, I feel like we need more Creator Wizard swag. We don't have enough swag. Mark says where to submit. I'm not sure what you mean. Maybe are you saying where to join the challenge? It's just creatorwizard.com/10K challenge, or just DM me, Mark, and I'll send you the link. We've got T's Hot Mess History tuning in, saying, oh, I'm going to have to watch from the beginning. Hey, everybody, let's go. Good to see you here, T. Liz says, I've done the challenge once and may again. It pays for itself and then some. Well, you don't have to worry, Liz. You don't have to pay for it this time because you're already in the coaching program. So I appreciate you, and I'm so glad that you found value from the challenge. All right. So on the topic, for those of you who are just tuning in here, kind of at the tail end of the live stream, the topic today has been all around 10K brand outreach strategies. And basically the theme of today's conversation was around how do you actually put together a proposal or a pitch to a brand where you're not just doing more work, like more deliverables, but you're actually illustrating to them why they should pay you a higher amount. I mentioned that this negotiation that I've been working on in this kind of more like of an ambassadorship opportunity for creators can be a way to illustrate to the brand that there's additional things that you can do for them beyond just posting on the internet. Other clients of mine in the past have done education for internal employees, speaking on stages on behalf of the brand. One example that I can share from my own career is Amazon. I think it was 2 years ago or maybe 3 years ago. Amazon sponsored VidCon. They sponsored a panel at VidCon, and they paid me to go and speak on the panel. So they paid, for me to fly down, speak on the panel. I got to go to VidCon for free. I got a free pass. That was 1 year where I was not speaking. And so how dope, right? Like when a brand acknowledges that you have sway in the industry, that you are someone that they want to align with, that they know that you would be a good advocate or proponent for them to speak on their behalf. It's so much more credible for one of their partners or ambassadors to speak on their behalf than someone who works at the brand, right? This is the whole reason why brands do influencer marketing. So why does it just have to be you talking about the brand on the internet through social media content? Why can't you go to your industry's trade show and do the same thing, right? You're going to influence the people that are in that room, but if they can come up to you and talk to you about it, especially we work with so many what's called B2B creators, like business to business creators who this segment is exploding. Influencer marketing for B2B creators. And a lot of these brands are paying tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars to forge partnerships with these people who have built up large audiences on LinkedIn, for example, right? I had dinner with someone at VidCon who has a LinkedIn creator agency. Like this is all they do is rep LinkedIn creators, people who have built up, 5-6 figure audiences on a platform like LinkedIn. And so it's like a gold rush over there right now for the brands, the SaaS companies. The cool thing about some of these larger businesses, if you can refer, I was literally just talking to one of our coaching clients, and the types of tools that this creator often recommends and does partnerships with, if they can get one customer, it can represent like a 6-figure enterprise contract. And so the types of deals that these creators are able to forge is just mind-boggling, because if you think about the difference with the consumer focus creators. So a lot of opportunity. Let's see here. Sarah says, yes. Shout out AJ. Is that April Justin? I think it is. I'm not sure. It might be. Dutch Daddy says, Justin, I just finished your book. Brilliant takeaways, my friend. Thank you so much, Dutch Daddy 00. I super appreciate it. Dutch Daddy, you know what would mean the world to me, since you just joined and didn't hear me say this a few minutes ago? Would you be willing to submit a review for the book on Amazon? That would mean the world to me. You can go straight to sponsormagnet.com/review. And that would just be huge. And if you'd be willing to submit a video review on Amazon, that would be even more dope. So appreciate that. And look, Dutch Daddy is mentioning, here we go. We got some proof here, some credibility. I am a LinkedIn creator with a B2B audience. I wrote this book not just for influencers, but anyone who has built up influence over a body of people, right? It's not just people dancing on TikTok or Instagram or YouTubers or whatever. It's look, Dutch Daddy 00 has a audience on LinkedIn, a B2B audience. In fact, we just wrote a case study. I got to show you this one before we I know we're almost at the end here, but check this out. We just finished this case study with a creator named Chad Prosser. Let me share my screen here. Boom. So this is a case study that we did with Chad Prosser, and he landed a $50,000 deal, and he has a government contracting newsletter. Let me say that again, a government contracting newsletter. So for anyone who says to me brand deals aren't for me, I have something super niche, a community, a newsletter, a podcast, a LinkedIn presence, or whatever, the course, community, there's no brands that would ever want to work with me. Just remember this anecdote from Chad here, getting a $50K deal with a government contracting newsletter. All right. Again, think about a similar example here. Perhaps there might be one deal that, you know, someone is able to get through Chad's newsletter that pays for the entire deal itself. Right? Dutch Daddy says, I will get it done. Yes. Oh, Dustin. Yes, dude. Oh man, I didn't notice your profile photo there, dude. Good to see you here, Dustin. Yes, dude. That would be amazing, man. I would super appreciate that. Anyways, you know, I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in every week. It always means a lot to me. I'm glad to be back from the hiatus. Again, if you would like to join the 10K brand deal challenge, you can go to creatorwizard.com/10K challenge. It starts on July 10th through July 16th. Would absolutely love to have you there. And if you would like to be an affiliate and spread the word about the challenge, creatorwizard.com/affiliates with an S. So hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you all in the next one.